Y'all, it's Deb Helfrich, hashtag RedheadedSheHulk. I'm also the founder of hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy. And we're sitting on the campus of Carnegie Mellon, where you can also go search for hashtag OccupyCMU. This is a new challenge. You know I'm down with it. You know that I really feel like there's a guy who's very domineering to his dog, and they've just walked past. The dog is constantly whining, and it is very upsetting to both myself and Zanzibar. But I've used her energy. She sat down. All calm. I can see the guy out on the lawn. Sorry for that interjection, but this is the state of my nervous system. My nervous system is constantly like assessing everything in the environment. I have been alone my whole life, mostly unintentionally in the early days. I don't think my parents really ever intended to do me the harm that occurred. I'm relatively certain that I suffered a mold exposure in my childhood that led to some place on the spectrum that nobody in my community of origin ever asked me or talked to me about what I was experiencing. I was experiencing what now that the internet has showed me. Yeah, see, there's the, I'm sure probably the audio on this is very good. You can probably hear the whining of that dog, and it's getting jerked around. And yo, I don't know what to put first, right? Let's start talking about, I'm going to talk about artisanal capital, but I think it's much more important to talk about we are harming our dogs as much as we're harming ourselves. We need to have actual discussions about what species appropriate canine companionship looks like. I wrote a book, if you're interested, it's called Second, which would be Zanzi, A Tale of Grief and Puppy Love. And it talks about the fact that my first dog died, Tanganyika. She was 13 and a half. The vet kept calling her a young dog at the time. She had no signs of aging. She died from a communicable disease called leptospirosis, which also is a zoonotic illness. I myself had one of my interactions, my only interaction with Western medicine this millennium, to get a prescription of doxycycline, an antibiotic, to make sure I didn't lose my kidneys. 11 years later, I think we can report kidneys are doing fine. And I'm not as anti-Western medicine when it's appropriate as I may seem. But at the same time, I know that I am a rarity as a 52-year-old woman who was morbidly obese my whole life. I was 333 pounds when I turned 50. And I sorted that all out nicely. Using the philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity, my proprietary life's work, which deserves funding immediately. What harms me the most in all of this isolation, in my destitution, in my 5 months of homelessness? There are about 10 humans who have cared enough to send me money. And I'm filled with gratitude. One of those humans has actually talked to me. Now, I called people and they talked to me when I called them, but only one person who actively knows to the point that they've donated money to keep me alive, only one person has called to talk to me. They're not evil humans. They do love me. You see why Zanzi wants to keep people away from me, right? Even the people who I assert love me have not found the time in 4 or 5 months to us. Let's not minimize this. Zanzi! Please, honey, your alarm barking causes me immense distress. That's what the barking is for, right? It's to tell us that there's something alarming in the environment. And she's correct. This guy is abusive to the dog. I think he thinks he's training. But it is appalling. Sweetie, come. I don't want to raise my voice again. And he's not leaving. So, co-starring. Zanzi's co-starring. You'll see from her eyes and her you see, you can actually see it. She is focused on what's going on out there because and it's very scary to her and to me, obviously to me. Oh, fuck. He just yanked that dog away. Humanity. I'd like to show something here at Zanzi. You're going to be a little display. Zanzi's got her harness on. Okay, harness. And we attach it here in the front so it pulls that way. We cannot keep putting collars around our dogs and yanking. No collars if you want to put, and again, Zanzi's got a harness. Sweetie, let's demonstrate. Here's all of her tags right here on her chest in a lovely little Velcro-y little pouch. You can see. I know I get on her case, but she, like me, we want fairness. We don't want harm. We are trying to fix this world. And it starts by not having hair in my mouth when I'm doing a live stream. You see this gorgeous girl? She also has some old exposure. In the parts where I try to pretend I'm okay, use my socialization, I will be dead if I don't make friends knowledge. She expresses herself completely and fully. She says when she needs to not have people stress her out and be in her environment. She needs to not see a dog being choked to death. But she got her way. Now he's departed. I'd been sitting here quietly enduring all of that stress. She got her way. She got us. She did. So, I'm looking for somebody who wants to write a check. Oh, the dog came back. Looking for somebody who wants to write a check for a campaign. Yoke, don't choke. Now, first off, we should already be able to see we're constraining. Every time I see this guy, I just. See why I can't work at a job? I'm going to see every bit of abuse, every bit of prejudice, every bit of bias. I'm aware of it. It harms me. I try to figure out what to do. I can't do it directly. We're not a society that lets people like me make intelligent comments and try to make everything better. I have to do it on a stage. I have to be able to stand on a stage and tell people, Yoke, don't choke. Now, first off, you're taking their windpipe away. How do you expect your dogs to do anything when you take away all their air? But it's even worse than that for dogs. If you are a neuroscience geek, you should know this, but I haven't seen anyone really talk about it. I think it's, again, my kind of perception of what's going on. And no, yeah, I'm just a student. Thank you. don't do that to your dog. Please don't do that to your dog. Please don't do that to your dog. Oh, your unacceptable behavior. Do you see what this world is like? You see what this world is like? He yanked at that dog so hard. The lovely woman was asking if I was a student. That motherfucker. Sweetie, you're gonna have to stay with me. I can't put you down, hon. Thank you. That dog with his mic. I love you, sweetie. Well, Artisanal Capital. Friendship. Something else I was going to talk about. I don't know. That dog wants my help. I know it. That's why it whines all the time. It knows Sansi and I are here. It knows. What do? How do I tell this man he can't? So not only is it the windpipe, but Zanzi's here now, so I can explain with the neuroscience. There's actually a great guy. He wrote a book called Iconoclast, Gregory Burns, and then he wrote a book called How Our Dogs Love Us. And here's, oh, good. He's packed up and walking off campus, although that's not good for the dog. The dog is going to have it take all his white man rage. So How Our Dogs Love Us is a book by neuroscientist Gregory Burns, and basically Nancy's doing a good. You see how they have longer heads than we do, right? This whole lovely little snout situation. When you put something around their neck, you can see Zanzi has never had anything around her neck. So she sees it as a massage. This is where her brainstem also is vertical. We're vertical and dogs are horizontal. You put a collar around, you're not just constraining their windpipe, you're constraining their brainstem. There's no way your dog can make any decisions. Your dog cannot access their memory about what words you're saying, what your tone reads. The dogs are having both their air and their brain impulses constrained. We as a society, as a global civilization, must stop. And Zanzi wagging her tail against. This wasn't what we thought we were going to do today, but this is a very, very important cause that Zanzi and I really care about. We cannot continue using neck collars to move our dogs around in space, whether we're angry or afraid or not. Unacceptable behavior for us to not think about this area of our dog's body and what is crucial to their continued existence, this next situation. We are a species that just doesn't know how to use our own brains. And I am really good. Yes, so good. Thank you for being my co-star, love. Thank you for being my co-star. Okay, Zanzi wants down. I'm looking for somebody to create some little icons and create a campaign, some t-shirts and some bumper stickers. Yoke, don't choke. How can you deny this one? Right? This cuteness. This cuteness is going to be the poster. She's the model. She's the model. She's the model. Get everyone to stop using neck collars, harming their own most precious one. I love this girl. She is a cuddle puppy. She's a cuddle puppy. And she has been sitting here since, I don't know, at least 10 a.m. letting me work. Harmony Young. This has been Deb and Zanzi. Zenzi and Zanzi. That's right. My nickname is Zenzi. Zenzile. Zulu for you're responsible for what you become.